The bank manager doesn't look up when he says it. The account is frozen. The man across the desk is 34 years old. His father died 6 hours ago. Behind that glass partition sits $4 million. 3 properties, 2 businesses, 30 years of his father's life. None of it is his. Not yet. Maybe not for years. 4 years from this morning, his sister won't be at the same table as him for a wedding. 3 tables away is as close as she'll get. 2019, a single market stall, 23 years old, no help from anyone, grown into a name people in Mombasa say with actual respect. A daughter on a living room floor, surrounded by paper, looking for a document her father never wrote. A son who has not spoken to his sister in 8 months. A building standing empty because 6 relatives can't agree on a single thing about it. Nobody stole anything. No market turned against them. One man's heart simply stopped, and 4 years later, there was almost nothing left of what he spent his whole life building. 5 exact moments break a family like this. I'm walking through all 5 in the order they actually happened. Number 3 is the one I want you to sit with longest. 1. Everything is in one person's name. Every property, every account, every signature that mattered. His, alone, dead now. In Kenya, that means probate. Not weeks, years. It took 4 years to unlock that account. By the time it opened, both businesses had already quietened into nothing. No signature meant no renewed contracts, no paid suppliers, no reason for a single client to stay. Nothing was lost. It was locked behind a door only one man had a key to, and he was never coming back to open it. If your heart stopped tonight, how many hours before someone you love stands at that exact same door? 2. Nobody wrote anything down. His daughter is looking for one page, just one. Here is what exists. Here is where it sits. Here is who to call. It was never written. So a plot of land bought through a cousin in 2011 simply stops existing to anyone but a dead man. $40,000 lent to a business partner in 2016 disappears with him. No paper, no witness, nothing. Nobody stole it. It just lived in one man's memory, and memory does not survive a heart attack. He had 30 years to write that page. Every single day was a chance. He never once took it. 3. The family and the business were the same thing. 15 years. That's how long the son showed up at 6 in the morning, 6 days a week, standing beside his father building this. His sister never once walked through that door. The law gives them equal shares. Exactly equal. He believes 15 years of his life earns him the final word. She believes equal shares means equal voice. Read that back. Neither one is lying. Neither one is wrong. So picture this instead. A year before the funeral, she calls him about a contract she's never seen before, asking what a clause means. He laughs, not unkindly, just surprised, and says he didn't realize she'd never actually read one. That's the whole story right there, a year before anyone died. She was already a stranger to the thing she would one day own half of. There was nothing on paper saying who decides when they disagree. So when they disagreed, there was no process, only volume. 2 people who shared a bedroom as children, now speaking only through letters typed by strangers who charge by the hour. 4. The next generation was never prepared. He built this at 23 with nothing, working nights nobody else wanted, carrying a fear of missing payroll that he never once mentioned at the dinner table. His children never felt that fear, not once. A driver. School fees paid before they were ever due. A house that simply was, the way the sky simply is. He protected them from the exact pain that built him. Without meaning to, he also protected them from the only thing that would have taught them how to keep what he built. They inherited the money. They never inherited the fear that made the money mean something. 5. There were no rules for disagreement. There was a will, there was some structure. Nobody can say this family did nothing right. But not one written sentence answered the only question that mattered. Who has final say when the two of you want completely different things? Every family disagrees eventually. That was never the failure. The failure was having zero answer ready for the day it happened. So when it happened, there was no process to absorb it. Only who could shout longest. Only who found the sharper lawyer. That kind of fight only ever ends one way. The first property sold for 1/3 of what it was worth, just to pay the lawyers who profited from a fight that should never have existed. The second sits locked. Both businesses are gone. The clients left in year 2, the exact month nobody could legally sign a single new contract. At a cousin's wedding last year, the siblings sat 3 tables apart. Neither one crossed the room. People in their neighborhood noticed. They watched 30 years get built. They watched it unravel in less than 5. Nobody says it out loud, but you can feel a quiet conclusion settling over that street. Maybe nothing here is built to last. Nobody writes that conclusion into a court filing. It's the most expensive thing this family lost, and there's no number to put next to it. This family didn't love each other less than the families who keep everything. They weren't careless. They weren't foolish. They were missing one thing, something built to stand on its own long after the man who built everything else was gone. That single missing thing is the entire distance between a name people still say with respect and a name nobody mentions anymore.